Hickok 45. Is this a table full of beauties or what? Yeah, I think they look pretty good, and they all have one thing in common. If nothing else, they are all 357 Magnum firearms. Yes, that's what we're about today. And guess where it all started? It started with this one right here, the Smith & Wesson registered Magnum. So I think it only appropriate to fire this one first. What do you think? And maybe at Mr. Gong. You think it'll reach that far? Oh, let's try it. All right. We got him started off right. And I think the cowboy wants one of these. Yeah, maybe two of them. Maybe some of these targets right here. Oh, how about a 2-liter? Yeah. Yeah. The 357 Magnum, the registered Magnum, that's where it began, at least the 357 Magnum, okay? And we're going to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the 357 Magnum, because who knows? As I said, I think in the 80th anniversary, I might not be here for the 100th, and I just want to make sure that I celebrate it, because it has been a wonderful cartridge for a long time, about 90 years, yeah. And it's been a wonderful cartridge for me, since 73. So however many years that is. I'm from Kentucky. You all will have to do the math for me. So that's been over 50 years for me. It's been a wonderful cartridge. Both the 357 and the 38. And that is one reason it is so popular. Not just because the 357 is really a great round, but because in any firearm chambered for it, you can fire 38 specials. That's pretty cool, huh? So, yep, it is the anniversary, the 90th this year. And since I happen to have this registered Magnum in my possession, I wanted to go ahead and do the 90th, celebration rather than wait till later in the year when I don't have this, because this is a very special firearm. This one is dated 1937. The first ones were in 35, and it was the birthplace, right, of the 357 Magnum cartridge. Before this gun in 1935, there was no 357 Magnum cartridge or firearm chambered for it. Yeah, so pretty cool. You've probably heard of the registered Magnum, and we have a video on it. I will link to that, and I will also link to the 80th anniversary, our video on the 357 Magnum, where I really went into more depth than you want probably on the history, okay? And I went in the video on this gun, the registered Magnum, a great deal into the history of the 357 Magnum, even backed up before that, 38, and how it came about, all right? So I won't bore you too much in this video going through all that again. I'll link to the other videos, and I'll hit it just the high points of that. And I want to thank the people that I'm pointing this thing at on that target, like Gallery of Guns, Davidson's Gallery of Guns. A fellow there, Brad Cantor, lent me this gun. That's why I have this. So we appreciate Gallery of Guns. You get a lifetime guaranteed replacement on firearms purchase there. Silencer Central, that great Banish lineup of suppressors. SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute, great school for distance learning. And then Alabama Holster, appreciate them. Wonderful little Kydex concealment holsters. We appreciate everybody that helps us out. And now let's talk about these firearms, okay? This is every 357 Magnum that I own. Don't you feel sorry for me? Yeah, I really, boy, talk about having a better life than I deserve. I have, I think I counted 20 357 Magnums here. The only one that I don't have the barrel, this is the Bond Arms over here. I brought it out because it occurred to me, I do have a 357 Magnum barrel for it. I don't have it on there, but I do have it, so I included it. I wanted to grab everything that I own that's in 357 Magnum or is chambered for it. So I shot the pistol. Why don't we go to the other end of the spectrum, because I actually have a couple of rifles chambered 357 Magnum. Yeah, let's shoot these things. Let's shoot something. Let's hit the gong again, if I can. Where did I go? I'm going low or high? Let's bring it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I was going high. Let's shoot some 2 liters right here. Oh yeah. I think I've moved that sight, or I've let it, yeah, move a little bit. Okay, so I need to make sure I bring it down, right? Yeah, I'm going kind of high. Yeah, let's take that guy out again. All right, cowboy, you need to be hit with a Winchester, except I'm out of ammo. That one started out as probably a 32-20 or something, and it was rechambered for 357 Magnum. Great gun though. So anyway, lots of 357 Magnums here that I have collected over the years. I shoot, I enjoy, and very, very quickly, I will just tell you what I got. How's that? On the far right, I've got the Marlin 1894 357. This is a Winchester that was rechambered for 357. Original barrel, original parts, but rechambered. The Bond Arms I showed you. This is a GP 100. This is a model 66 Smith & Wesson. Up here we have a model 686 plus. Now let's go across. And we got a K6S right there, Kimber. Got my dad's old gun, the Hall's Western Marshall. We got a, now this is for different reasons, but it's a Navy Colt, 36 caliber. Then we got, let's start back over here. That was a 66. I told you, I got the model, the FBI Model 13. Okay. And the model the DEA carried a lot, the 65, same as that, but in stainless. Got model 27, big old in-frame 357. The model 28. Got a Colt 2020 Python Elite. Okay. We got the mountain gun, the Smith & Wesson mountain gun, 686 mountain gun. We got a Python, vintage 1981. And we have a 686, pretty cool. Got a model 19 with a 6-inch barrel. Got a model 19 with a 4-inch barrel. And then we've got a Service 6 Ruger. Okay, did I say them all? Then of course a registered Magnum. And the reason I brought this Navy Colt out, just again, I am not going to belabor this, but you know, back in the day, 36 caliber, the percussion guns and everything, they really, we still shoot 36 caliber. 38 and 357 or 36. The early cartridges were heel type bullets I've talked about before, and when they went to cartridges that slipped down inside the case, they reduced the size of the bullet in order for it to get down in the case. Okay, it's not a heel type bullet, and so the bullet became basically 36, 357, you know, 356, 357, 358, whatever, but it's 36 caliber. And so these are all actually 36 caliber, aren't they? 38s or 357 Magnums. Just remember, 357, you know, that's not 38. You know, we had our 38 small frame guns, and then it evolved into bigger revolvers. Smith did, like big old revolvers like this. They came out with that 38-44 to get more power out of the 38 Special. With a gun like this and an in-frame, you could load that 38 Special up pretty big. That was like 29 and 30, 31, right along in there, 19, 29. And, you know, police were kind of undergunned with all the gangs roving the country, and so they're trying to get something with a little bit more power in their pistol. And so this was sort of an intermediate stop. You've got 38 Special that I think they cranked it up to about, they called it the 38-44 cartridge, I think, but it was a 38 Special up to around 1,100 feet per second, something like that, pretty stout round. And so that was pretty popular in a big old in-frame. They didn't call it the in-frame at the time. And then in the early 30s, they started experimenting. Elmer Keith was experimenting, Phil Sharp, others with that cartridge, trying to get the most out of it, especially since it was in a big, heavy gun. Okay, it wasn't going to maybe blow it up. And they ended up, Smith & Wesson and Elmer Keith and Phil Sharp, everybody that was you know, experimenting, they came up with the 357 Magnum in an in-frame. and that's where the registered Magnum came from. Up to 1,400, 1,500 feet per second. They elongated the cartridge a little bit, and so it wouldn't go into the older guns, and they produced something that just had a lot of power behind it. And you can see this Model 27 and this registered Magnum are very, very, very similar. They're the same end frame, and they look a lot alike, right? So big old end frames that fire a 38 caliber round, and a 357 Magnum. What they did was they heat tempered the cylinder on this thing, and they recessed the chambers and everything, and they thought that they had a firearm in 1935 that would handle the 357 Magnum, and it did. And they did make a lot of these, 5, 6, 7,000 of them. You ordered them special order. They were expensive, and you won't see a lot of registered Magnums. This is kind of a holy grail of the 357 Magnum, because it was the first one, and they really did it up. You can see from the check ring, and there were lots of options on these guns. Look at that hammer. It's pretty wild, the serrations on that. So I'm really fortunate to be able to shoot one of these. This, again, it's a little worn. It was carried by the New Hampshire State Police, so it's well used, but it is a registered Magnum. Yep, that's what we got. And I'm gonna shoot it again. Can I do that? Let's shoot some Magnums. I got some different ammo out. There's such a variety of ammo. This is some Federal, 70 grain ammo. Yeah, 170 grain rounds. You know, these are pretty hot. Maybe I won't fire them in somebody else's gun. But there's just such a wide range. Some of these are 38 special. Look at that, man. Lead hollow points. I've got some. Let's see. I got some high desert cartridge 38s here. Look at that. Flat. Yeah, I mean, just some really cool rounds. You got wad cutters. These are some of my hand loads, 357. These are 38 special cowboy loads from Steinel. Here's a semi-wad cutter 38 special from Steinel. This is some Underwood 357 Magnums. There's just so many options. In fact, where are some? I'll shoot some of these Magnums. How's that? Those come out of this box. Let's shoot some Magnum ammo. Very versatile cartridge. That's one reason it has survived, and it is so useful. You can get some really hot ammo. You can get some heavy rounds like 180 or even heavier that would, with some power behind them, take down about anything, almost anything on 4 legs. All right, let's shoot the target. You want to? 90th anniversary. Got to put one on there. Get my ears in tight. These are Magnums. Oh man, accurate. And we got Magnums in, so we got to take out that watermelon, right? Yeah, man. I'm gonna put another one on him. And let's smoke a little pot. Oh boy, that smoked it. Yeah. I think I'm about empty. Yeah. So Magnum, the first Magnum, the registered Magnum was the first one, and many of you have heard of it, and you know all about it. These big old end frame 357s are, I don't know, in a lot of ways they're all the Cadillac of the 357. Them and the Python, right? The Colt Python. And I've got to shoot the Python, don't you think? It is a celebration here, so let's do that. Let's shoot some Magnums through this thing. Some of them, I don't know what you'd say, the most desired 357 Magnums are these big 27s and the Colt Pythons, either new or old. Just really nice revolvers. There's so many nice revolvers made, chambered in 357 Magnum. I'm fortunate to have a few of those. And let's just shoot this Python, since it's that day, the day of celebration. And let's put one of these on the cowboy. Oh, boy. Let's hit him again. Let's see if we can get one of these on the gong. Where do I hold? I don't know. Haven't fired this in a while. All right, sounds like I hit it. Let's try that buffalo over there. All right, let's try that sheep. Bighorn sheep. All right, great hunting round, right? Let's come back over here and shoot the tombstone. Yeah, speaking of bighorn sheep or big game, when they came up with this 357 Magnum and the registered Magnum, Douglas Wesson went hunting with it, took all kinds of big game, I guess wrote articles about it. It really helped promote the 357. He got a grizzly bear up in Canada, as I understand, and all that. So nice round. It deserves a celebration, I have to say. And I'm willing to celebrate, to tell you the truth. You don't have to twist my arm. And as I have said many times, if you're looking for a revolver, your first revolver maybe, there's so many great choices, you know. I mean, single action, this was my dad's gun, and you know, small double actions or mid-size, whatever, because you can put so many different power factors of ammo in these things. The lightest 38 loads that really feel about like shooting a 22 almost, on up to more powerful 38 specials, even plus P, that have pretty good energy there. And then you can get into the Magnums, lighter Magnums, maybe some hand loads that are not quite so warm like those that I load, or real Magnums. And then there's the top end of Magnum, you know. So just wide range of ammo that you can shoot and enjoy one of these things on the range, plinking, or very effective as a self-defense firearm. So 357 Magnum, the whole reason I have several of them. So I'll give you a little overview of the history, which I've done several times. My history again, I started out, my first 357 was like this gun, exactly like it, 6-inch Model 19, bought in 73. It got me into hand loading. My first cartridges I hand loaded were 357. I loaded a lot of them, and I shot a lot of them through a firearm exactly like this. Same vintage and everything, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. Shouldn't have traded it off, but I replaced it since then. And then it went from there. I had 27s, like this big old beautiful end frame. I had 2 or 3 of those in the 70s. Gosh, I had a 4-inch, and I had a shorter barrel, I forgot what it was. I had a Model 28 like I have now. But the 357 has been around me for a long time. I've had several Pythons, and I have a couple now with this older one, and then this newer 2020 Python with a 3-inch barrel. So I am always going to have a 357 or 2 around, or 15 or 20, or just whatever I might need. Some of my very favorites, as you know, the Model 13, the 65. I really like the Model 18. I love the 686. That's just a great 357 Magnum, 4-inch barrel, wonderful, and just a blast to shoot. And it's especially special to have access to this registered Magnum. Not because it's necessarily the most beautiful firearm on the table. You know, it's had some use, as you can see. There's several others, like this is a prettier gun, right? Just like this Python is a prettier gun. But none of the others have the history of this one. This was made in 37, carried by New Hampshire State Police for several years, and just really cool. The very first of the group of registered Magnum. And I'll shoot it before I make you get out of here. Can I shoot it again? We'll put some 38 specials through it and enjoy it while I have it. This might be the last time I fire it before I return it to Brad. Like I say, he works Gallery of Guns, and he is a gun guy. He really enjoys these old Smiths just like I do, new Smiths, whatever. All right, some semi-wad cutters in there, and fire this thing. All right, gorgeous old gun, needs to be fired. What needs to be hit? That's the big question. Well, just a couple of things right here maybe, like that tree. Yeah. How about that stop sign? right in the middle. How about one of those swinging plates? Yeah. How about those paint cans right there on that stand? Out of both with one bullet. How about that lonely bowling pin on that stand? And I believe that's it, right? I had one for the tombstone. Yeah, the 357 Magnum, a great round. Like I said, I'll link to those other videos. You can just wade through all that history and all my yakking. I just wanted to get all of mine out and just to serve as proof that I do like the 357 Magnum quite a bit. And you know, this again is the apex. This is the ultimate 357 Magnum. Many of you know that. These are highly collectible. They're very expensive even when they're worn like this. And boy, you get one of these new in the box, might trade it for a house or a really nice car, put it that way. So yeah, 357 Magnum, it has served a lot of purposes: hunting, police work, bad guy work, probably. How many rounds have probably been fired on shooting ranges, you know, in the last 90 years with these rounds, 357, you know, in various firearms. And if you like revolvers at all, you're one of those people who kind of likes revolvers or even like them a little bit, there's a very, very good chance, right, that you have a 357 Magnum in your collection. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com. And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.